Is it on the same scale as the 2015 migration crisis?
Look, Matt, that is a question here in Brussels, and this is really a story that's making big headlines here in the EU. Now, the answer to that question at this point when you speak to officials is that it is not. The 2015 crisis, of course, saw a huge influx of migrations. It was a huge political crisis, put Angela Merkel under so much pressure, and of course, you saw big pushback from countries like Italy. Now, at this point, officials in Europe will tell you this is more of a power play by Erdogan. Erdogan suffered a big military loss last week in Syria. He was hoping that NATO and the EU would come out and offer their support, and the EU was very timid in their response. So they do believe this is more of a power play. Then secondly, when you look at the data and the numbers, the EU is skeptical about the numbers that Erdogan has put out, where he's saying hundreds of thousands of people have crossed already the border into Greece. In fact, the Greek authorities will tell you he's flat out lying. Those numbers are not true. And then secondly, this is an empty threat because the Greeks are determined to keep that border shut. Now, going forward, however, the big question is whether Erdogan is willing to actually open the borders and whether he would be willing to take that step. The Europeans, of course, doubt that could happen. They feel that they've put a lot of money on the table since 2016, where they signed an agreement with Turkey, and this is more of a power play at this stage. But of course, the timing of it is very tricky because there is already a debate because of the coronavirus as to whether or not Europe should shut some of the borders or actually do controls differently. So no doubt the timing of this is not easy for the EU.